Hey guys, you don't see my green screen behind me. That's because I do my show, Tuesdays to Thursdays here on YouTube, and, Tuesday, I'm actually gonna have a great show for you guys. But in this video, I'm, basically gonna answer frequently asked questions about Childfree by choice. Several months ago or several years ago, I don't remember when I posted a video on my channel. I posted a video on my channel basically saying how I'm child-free by choice. And I didn't really go into why I'm child-free by choice, but I announced on my page that I am child-free by choice. So, I looked up, I'm just curious of what the frequently asked questions about, from people who have children to people who do not want children, child-free by choice people. I'm wondering what frequently asked questions were normally asked, because, quite frankly, I'm so into looking up news about religion and politics, and, I get sidetracked about looking about other information that I should be familiar with, but sometimes I get too distracted with other news information. So anyway, here we go. First question: what does it mean to be child-free? Well, child-free, what it means to be child-free is, basically, it means that you do not want to have children under any circumstances. You don't find any joy in having your own children, or the idea of having your own children. What it means to be child-free is because there's a lot of couples on the rise, millennial couples and Gen X couples who, no, don't want children for the sheer purpose of the fact that it's not a selfish decision, really, because there's this book out called Two is Enough, Two Makes a Family, or something like that. It's one of those two titles. But what the book is about, how you could be in a relationship with your husband, wife, transgender husband, transgender wife, whatever, whoever you're married to, and you don't need to have children. You don't need to have a pitter-patter of little feet on the floor. You don't need to have an SUV. You don't need to be a soccer mom or dad. You don't need to go on these vacations all the time to Disney or to the Sesame Street places. Point being is, mean by child-free is someone who who enjoys their independence, and they meet someone who enjoys their independence as well, and that couple does something that they like to do, like if it's exercising, if it's going to the movies, if it's doing a book club together, if it's anything really. But that's what being child-free is: someone who enjoys their freedom and does not want to have any children under any circumstances whatsoever. Second question: is there a difference between child-free and childless? Yes, there is a significant difference. Like I said, child-free is someone who does not want some children under any circumstances whatsoever, and does not have any desire to have children. And childless is when you can't have any children, period, due to a physical or medical condition. That's what childless is. You could be a parent by adoption, but you're technically considered childless if you cannot have children naturally. That's the difference between child-free and childless. Third question: why won't you guys change your minds in the future? Won't you guys change your minds in the future? Some will, some won't. I definitely won't be changing my mind in the future on my decision, but some will. Some won't. It depends on the person. Like, someone could be young and say, you know what, I don't want to have any children, but by the time they're 30 or 35, they're like, I want a son or daughter, or they want to adopt a child. Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt were like that. When they became a couple back in early 2000s, they were part of the celebrities who were on the child-free by choice list because they never wanted to have children. But sometime around, I think it was like about 2005 or 2006, Angelina Jolie and Brad Pitt decided they wanted to adopt children. So some do change their minds and some will not change their minds. This is a question from someone who is child-free by choice. I'm interested in sterilization. Are there resources available to inform myself? What do you mean by sterilization? Do you mean vasectomy-wise? If so, yeah, there are doctors who could do it, but the only time they'll find it acceptable is if you did already have children. But there are doctors out there who will perform a vasectomy if you don't want any children, but you have to go through several in order to find one that will do with that for you. This is kind of a concern and question. I do not want kids, but my SO does, significant other. What can I say or do to change his or her mind? You can't. You really can't. If you're in a relationship with someone and the discussion of kids is not on the table yet, the relationship may look fine and dandy, but at a certain point, if you two are thinking of getting married or something, and the topic of kids will come up, and if you say, I don't want kids, and the other person says that they do want kids, I think it's time to end the relationship right then and there, because there's no way that the relationship can go on in a happy tone if your significant other wants children and you don't, because that's just a disagreement right there. That's kind of like how you have a Democrat marrying a conservative. That's kind of like an atheist marrying a religious person. Some things just don't pair out. I mean, it is possible for a Democrat to marry a conservative. It is possible for an atheist to marry a Christian, a Jew, a Muslim, and so forth. Anyone who have any religious belief. But the possibility of those two types of marriages working out, there is a possibility there. It's a slim possibility, but it's a possibility. But the possibility of a child-free by choice person being in a marriage with a child, someone who wants children, that there's no possibility there. There is no possibility of a marriage working out like that. Because children are like kind of like a significant thing for some people. Here's another question. Do you child-free people dislike children and their parents? No. Why would you ask such a retarded question? Look, I don't hate babies. I don't. Some are adorable. Some are ugly. Some are, I can't describe it. Looks like some, like Cousin It from the Munster. I'm just being honest. But, I don't hate babies per se, but personally, I do not have any time for children of my own because there's things I want to do in my life that requires child-free, like going to a jazz club, going to multiple jazz clubs around the world, seeing the world, meeting other people, having intellectual conversations with famed philosophers and scientists. I do want to do these things in my life, and I can't do that if I have a child, because I have to put everything on hold for the child, and I have to, you know, put my life on hold until that child's 18. That is, if I live long enough till the child's 18. So, basically my lifestyle choice conflicts with having a child, but no, don't hate children and or their parents for having children, because that's their choice. I can't tell them, how dare you for having a child. That's their choice. They wanted children. They fulfilled that desire. That's them. Me, I'm different, like I said. And here's a question, kind of like a follow-up to the one I just answered. Then why are you there frequently posts complaining about them? It's not complaining about the children. This is what people seem to forget. It's not complaining about the children, it's complaining about the parents. Look, if you're a parent, your responsibility is to not only protect your child, but it is your responsibility to make that child into a well-respected citizen of society. And you can't have a well-respected child if you just let them scream and kick and be annoying at restaurants. I get kids are gonna have episodes. I get that. I've seen my sister have episodes when she was a little baby. That's natural, but at a certain age, if they're not told to how to behave in a restaurant, if they're not told how to behave in public, if they're not told how to speak well to others and respect others at school, the problem is not the child, it's the parent. Another question on the frequently asked question. Did you all have awful childhoods or something? Another retarded question. Well, not really retarded. Some people did have terrible childhoods. I didn't. There's others who haven't, but there's others who have had terrible childhoods, and they don't want a child being subdued to the same terrible childhood. And perfect example, if someone had an alcoholic father or an alcoholic mother, it's in genetic genes for them to become an alcoholic if they do. Some people seen genetic alcoholics in their family, and they know they have to stay away from any type of beer or alcohol and so forth. And if they start drinking it and they know they will probably become an alcoholic, and they don't want to put that child through the same hell that they were brought up in. And some people did have terrible childhoods, some didn't. Here's a question from a child-free person. Why is there such a backlash against child-free? Okay. Here's why there's a backlash against child-free by choice people. I haven't technically had backlash put on me, per se, but there's others who have, and this is why there's backlash. There's backlash because our choice of not having children is kind of like being the atheist in the family, the only one. I'm the only atheist in my family. But there was no backlash against me being an atheist because my whole family is secular Christians, or not non-believers per se, but disliking of organized religion. There's secular Christians in my family, there's secular agnostics, but as for me, I'm the only atheist in my family, which is perfectly fine. But so far I'm the only child-free by choice person, and that seems to be fine with my family. But there's other people out there who are child-free by choice, and it's been tradition that the offspring have the children of their own, and so forth, and the line goes down. And that's where the backlash comes in. For centuries, people have been reproducing and reproducing and reproducing and reproducing human beings, and at a certain point it gone too excessive, and reports have been done that by the year 2020, which is like 2060, 2000, in 5 years from now, food resources are going to be limited, and you're going to see the number of child-free by choice people skyrocket because people want to conserve the food, whatever food's left, really, because I'm not sure if you read this book. I'm almost done reading it, but Oryx and Crake, it's a romantic slash sci-fi, more sci-fi than romantic, but in this book it basically talks about when we genetically modify all our food, including the meats, including the vegetables, and you know what? Hell, if you sleep on memory foam, you're sleeping on a genetically modified mattress. But point being is, if this food shortage and the limited supplies of food will be, at that point, genetically modifying coffee, for Christ's sake, tea, and so forth. But the point is, that's why there's a backlash, because it's breaking tradition, and the fact that people are looking at these studies and being scared to the fact that, oh, wait a minute, if I have a child, then that means I'm going to add to the food shortage, and people don't want to do that. They want to save humanity, not kill it. That's why there's such a backlash against child-free by choice people. What if my family and or significant other doesn't want me to get sterilized or use birth control? There's a problem with your family at that point. If your family thinks they could tell you what to do with your body and how to use your body or what to use with your body, they don't have a place to do that. If they want to tell themselves, you know, I never use birth control, so you're not going to use it, that's bullshit. Class A bullshit. And it should be allowed whatsoever. And it's not their desire if they don't want you to get sterilized or use birth control. You know why? Because it's not their body. If you want to get a vasectomy, if you want to get your tubes tied, I'm not sure who asked this question, that's all up to you. If you want to use birth control, if you really don't want to sterilize yourself, but if you want to use birth control, that's up to you. That is up to you. That is not your family's decision to tell you to use it or not use it. There's personal space, and then there's just private matters. I'm going to skip the next question because I never heard the reference to this before, but I'm going to read the final question and answer that. If I choose to not have children, do I spend some of my extra income on a jet ski? If you want to. I mean, it depends. Like, I don't want any children, so what can I spend my extra income on if I save a good amount of income? Like I said, I could save it on for a passport that I could travel around the world. I could save it and I could get myself a nice car. I could save it and get myself a better house. I could save it and whatever. With extra income, you could do pretty much anything if you don't want any children. Well, not really. You have to pay the house bills. You have to pay your electric bills. So, yeah, that's a very shady area. But the point being is, if you don't want to have any children, you do have extra income to spend. Not that much, but enough to spend to have fun.